That is the starting pitcher for the Mariners tonight, Wade LeBlanc, as he and his teammates take the field in the all-white uniforms tonight. And it is the rubber game of the series. Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The boardwalk is open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. So another nice night, 67 degrees and 2 straight days of sunshine here in Seattle. What a beautiful thing. The roof is open and it's going to be a nice night for baseball. So let's take a look at the lineup tonight for the Oakland A's. Starts with Marcus Semien, then Mark Canha, Jed Lowry. He's got 3 homers and 6 RBIs in 5 games against the Mariners this year. Big one last night. Chris Davis, the DH, then Chapman, Olson, Piscotty, Pinder, and Lucroy.
And we've got LeBlanc, and this will be LeBlanc's first start in almost 2 years. The last time he made a start was August 19th of 2016. This guy's a strike thrower. That's the one thing he has to do to be effective. And so look for him to throw strikes. He mixes his pitches up. He's got a nice pitch mix of curveball, changeup, and he sinks the fastball away.
So let's look at the defense behind Wade LeBlanc for the Mariners. Peretti in left, Gordon in center, Haniger in right. Seager, Segura on the left side, Cano and Healy on the right side, and Mike Zunino is the catcher. So we're set for baseball. Scott Service probably still disappointed in last night as the A's kind of stole one from the Mariners, and you have games like that go both ways throughout the course of a season, but the A's will take it. So rubber game of the series, and the first pitch is a little bit high. So how about this, Stu? So last night you faced James Paxton, a lefty, who's throwing 97 miles an hour. Tonight you face Wade LeBlanc, a lefty, who probably throws, what, 87, 88?
At best, 87, 80, and I think he'll top out at 90. He may even hit an occasional 91. But, you know, with guys like this, especially guys that are going to stay on the outside part of the plate, you got to be ready to hit the ball opposite field and take what he gives you.
It's kind of a dart thrower. He doesn't throw hard.
And that's what a guy like this does, exactly what he did right there. He throws a pitch inside just to keep you honest and keep you off that outside pitch.
16 strikeouts last night for that guy, James Paxton, and he got a no decision. So 3-1 the count. The umpires tonight, it is not the same crew that has been here. Blackney, Wolf, Rayburn, and Holbrook. Ryan Blackney calling balls and strikes. So you don't see that very often, where the umpiring crew that was here the first 2 games of the series is not here for the last one. No.
I was just about to ask you about that. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, I was surprised by that, and the Mariners will stay home. The Angels come to town, so I would guess that this crew will stay here and umpire that series, but you don't see that very often. Line drive, it's foul. So 3-2 the count. Well, tonight any 95-mile-per-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. So LeBlanc, he may not get there, Manaea will. Canha to follow, and then Lowry just underway from Safeco Field. And that one is hit in the air to center, and it's hit well. Gordon going back. Gordon right in front of the wall, and he makes the catch. So a well-struck ball by Marcus Semien, but Gordon had just enough room.
And you got a count right here where he's got to come into the hitter. I'm actually surprised that he got that ball that much up in the zone. Marcus drove that ball pretty good, though.
Yeah, I can't imagine LeBlanc wanting to pitch up in the zone too much.
And he can't pitch behind the zone very much. He's got to keep the ball down in the zone, and he's got to stay ahead in the count.
Here's Canha, who takes a little bit low.
Pitching behind is not his best friend. Well, it's no pitcher's best friend, but when you don't have the kind of stuff that you can overpower guys, Paxton type stuff, you've got to throw strikes.
Yeah, Paxton could pitch from behind in the count. This guy probably not. 1-1 to Mark Canha, who's had a good series, 4 for 7. And the monster home run last night in the 9th inning against Edwin Diaz, who was the relief pitcher of the month in the American League. So here it is, and it was fun to watch. He said in the post-game interview, Stu, he said, I didn't want to wait around for the slider, and I don't blame him. Diaz's slider is deadly.
Did you hear how loud that was?
It was loud.
Glenn, has he hit the second spot this year?
No, not a lot. And he's a different player. He's playing with some confidence.
He's doing a great job in center field, too.
Yeah. Well, he's a real good athlete, but he looks so much more comfortable in center field than he did last year. And even the year before, he played a little bit out there, but not a lot.
You know, people say center field is the easier of the three outfield positions. I don't believe that at all.
Reaches for that one, hits it hard, but right at the ready for out number 2.
Got out in front on that changeup. There was a changeup that he got on his front foot and hit that to the left fielder.
So Stu, it's the 3rd game that Canna has been in the second spot this year, so he's been there a little bit. That's the beauty of an off-speed pitch right there, right? He's just a little bit off balance, and all of a sudden the power's gone.
Yeah, but he still did a good job with it. He hit that ball on the nose, kept his bat back. He was on the front side, but he kept his hands back. Hit the ball hard.
Here's Lowry.
As you can see, he's mixing it up, and this is what he's got to do. He's got to throw strikes, keep the ball down on the zone, and keep the hitters off balance to be effective.
August 19th of 2016. That was the last time LeBlanc started a game in the big leagues.
Against the Brewers.
Yeah. Now he's been around a long time. It's just been a while since he's started a game. So this is what Lowry did last night in the top of the 8th inning. It's Juan Nicasio, the setup man. So that tied the game, and then Canna gave the A's the lead. Quite a victory last night. One-two pitch is hooked. Whoa, foul.
Just foul.
Sam Holbrook got out of the way first, and then he signaled foul, and it was close.
Just
whoa.
Foul.
Wow.
Might have got a little bit of that outside line.
All it needed.
Think we need to replay that?
Yeah, too early. Don't want to lose one early. 1-2 the count to Lowry. 341, 8 home runs and 30 RBIs. How about that start for Lowry?
I was just about to say, how about this guy in general? He's been Mr. Clutch for this team. He's been their best hitter by far.
He's 5th in the league in hitting. He's tied for 1st in RBIs. He's 2nd in the league in hits. He's 6th in slugging. You know, I've noticed with him, Stu, is every swing he takes is a good swing. He has not broken down hardly at all this year, where, you know, he gets fooled or chases a pitch. Just have hardly seen it at all.
I tell you what, he's locked in. He, in my opinion, is so disciplined and understands what he's going up there to try to do each at bat.
And that one.
I mean, that's a close pitch right there, and he took it like it was nothing.
Yep. I always felt like sometimes you can tell a guy is hot, not by how he swings, but how he takes pitches.
You're exactly right.
So full count to Lowry. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So 3 up, 3 down inning for Wade LeBlanc. And when we come back, the big left-hander Sean Manaea gets to work for the A's. Manaea finishing up his warm-up tosses, and this is the lineup that he will face. Gordon, Segura, Cano, Cruz, Haniger, Seager, Healy, Zunino, and Heredia. That is the Seattle Mariners starting lineup.
Well, I got to tell you, they got their work cut out with Sean Manaea tonight. I mean, this guy's leading the league in ERA with a 134, but on top of that, on the road, he's got a road ERA of 142. And I'm going to throw another number at you. In the nighttime, he's 0.98.
So we put everything together, and he should be good tonight.
It's going to be a tough night for the Mariners.
Sean Manaea looking for his 5th win of the year.
I mean, how do you you can't, anytime this guy takes the mound, these guys have to feel like they have a chance to win, and that's a great feeling in the clubhouse when you know that there's a guy out there that's going to give you an opportunity.
2-0 to Gordon. Chapman in a step on the grass, and there's a line drive under the glove of Olson. He scrambles after it, but he's not going to be able to get to it in time, and Gordon is aboard. So they're going to give Gordon a hit, although probably a play that Olson is going to figure he should have made.
And I think that's why he's got his head down on that after the play, because he did feel like he should have made that play. Although that ball was hit pretty hard, he felt like he should have got that ball.
Maybe a little sinking life to it, huh? So now you got to keep an eye on Gordon.
Well, it helps because you got a left-handed pitcher out there, though. I think it helps a little bit.
Gene Segura. And but D. Gordon took his normal lead, which is usually a pretty good lead, and then he took another 2 steps, and he didn't go, and it almost looked like he's up to something over there.
Well, I think he's trying to get Sean Manaea to make a throw over there.
I think he is, exactly.
You know, if you can get him to make a throw, then you got an idea of what kind of move he's got.
And there he goes. Throw to second base. Not in time. It hit somebody. I don't know if it was Gordon or Marcus Semien, but it's a stolen base.
Now, this guy is prototypical leadoff guy. You know, he gets on base and you're expecting him to steal a base. That's what he's on there to do. Oh, you got him in the leg.
Yeah, I think the ball hit Marcus, maybe in the shin.
Got him in the leg.
So stolen base number 13 for Gordon. And 2-0 the count to Gene Segura. So Gordon leading the American League in that category. Keep an eye on it because Gordon will go again.
I was just about to say that. I mean, the key to this is you've got to make him stop. The one thing that you can't allow a base stealer to do is to continue to move his feet off of second base. You have to make him stop in his steps.
Marcus doing a pretty good job of that. Segura bunts. Manaea lets Chapman have it, and Chapman throws. A terrific play by Matt Chapman. Wow.
I wasn't too sure he was going to be able to make that play.
I did not think he had a chance. That's a terrific play. We're used to it already.
Oh, really, that's a well-placed bunt right there. That's an outstanding play.
So they're giving him a sacrifice, Stu. Which don't know that he was bunting for that, but
I'm not too sure he was bunting for it, but that's the good thing when you got a man at second base. If he's safe, base hit. If not, you get the sack.
So runner at third, 1 out. Infield comes in for Robinson Cano.
Oh, we're playing infield in early.
Yeah.
They're expecting this to be a close game.
Pitchers duel. Cano, 291. And he lines it to left field, and that's a base hit. Cano rounds the bag. He'll stop at first, and the Mariners have an early 1-0 lead.
That's professional hitting right there is what that is. Cut down on his swing. Cut down on his swing, hit the ball to left field. Didn't try to do too much with it, just hit the ball where it was thrown and get that run in.
We've been watching Cano a long time, and he's done a lot of damage against the A's. He's done a lot of damage against a lot of teams. Finally, they get to Mania. Last turn run allowed was right here on April 15th. That's earned run. But you really have to appreciate Robinson Cano, because he never ever tries to do too much. It's like he looks at the situation and then that's where he goes with it. RBI, runner on third, one out, right? There's no need for a home run. Just,
I mean, it's confidence. It's confidence in his ability to hit.
And you'll see him every once in a while look for a pitch inside and try to jerk it out. And he can do that too. 0-2 to Nelson Cruz. An RBI for Cano, his 15th of the year. And that hit him. The 0-2 pitch comes in and Cruz gets hit.
I mean, you got to make a pitch 0-2. A lot of these major league hitters now, 0-2, they're looking for something outside across the plate. And Sean came on the inside part of the plate, and it really just barely got him. I mean, most of the time, hitters are turning away from the baseball. He actually turned into the ball. If he turns away from the ball, as you normally do when the ball is on the inside part of the plate, that pitch doesn't hit him at all.
Yeah, he may be leaning out a little bit, looking for something away on 0-2. Here's Haniger. Haniger takes outside. Still, we were talking about this before the game, that when you were the general manager of the Diamondbacks, they had Haniger, and he was a minor league player just getting to the big leagues, and you liked him a lot.
I did. I liked him. Our minor league director, Mike Bell, liked him. Mike Bell praised him and tried to get him to the big leagues sooner than we got him to the big leagues. We called him up in early August and gave him every opportunity to play. He played all three outfield positions. We had him in the lineup every day. We wanted to see what he was going to be able to do, because if he was able to play at this level, then he was going to be a part of our ball club in 2017. This kid is a very, very good hitter, a very, very solid player.
And he had a good swing, fouls it straight back. And we should make sure that people know that Haniger, of course, was traded with Segura from the Diamondbacks here to the Mariners. That was not your trade.
No, sir, it was not.
You don't want anything to do with that trade.
I'm a big Gene Segura fan. Gene, for me, when we got him from Milwaukee, came over, hit 20 home runs, stole 30 bases, hit over 300, and had 200 hits for me. This was a guy that turned his career around in Arizona.
Piscotty grabs it, and Cano will tag up. He'll go to thirds. So first and third, 2 outs. A's defensively are lined up like this. Pinder's in left, Canna in center, Piscotty in right. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, Olson on the infield, and Lucroy is the catcher. So here is Kyle Seager. Kyle Seager at 248. He's got 4 homers, 15 RBIs, and he bats with runners at the corners. See, Cano doesn't have anybody around him. Cano, the runner at third, so he can, quite frankly, he could probably come halfway down the line to home plate, and the A's would not care.
Downs down that line pretty good.
Chapman is playing like a shortstop playing in. Seager hits it in the air, shallow left center. Pinder gets there, and Pinder has it. Side retired. A run on 2 hits for the Mariners. They lead 1-0 after 1. 1-0 Mariners, top of the second. That's the Great Wheel. That's the official name of that, and I can see why it would be called the Great Wheel. So here is Chris Davis leading it off, Chapman to follow, and then Olson, and it's a swing and about 76 miles an hour from Wade LeBlanc. Chris Davis is scuffling right now. The average down to 220. He is 0 for his last 19. So he's not having much fun right now, but he usually changes that with a 2-homer game or something like that.
He's going to come out.
Yeah.
You can't keep him down. That's for darn sure. He's going to come out sooner or later. You can expect it. And this is a big piece of their offense, and so he's got to get going sooner or later. You can't keep him down.
He's still 8th in the league in RBIs with 23. Well, the life of a hitting coach, huh? One guy gets hot, the next guy gets cold. Always somebody to work with. Broken bat, grounded up the middle. Cano has it. He throws. The throw is wide, and Davis is going to be aboard, and he's going to get himself a base hit. He'll take it. Very interesting development today here in Seattle with the Mariners. Has to do with Ichiro Suzuki. He played last night. He was in the lineup. Today, he is no longer on the active roster. He is transitioning to the front office, special assistant to the chairman. But there's some caveats to all this. As you see the top line, he's going to still travel with the team. He's going to work out before the games do. Full uniform. He was taking batting practice today. But as soon as the game starts, because he's not on the active roster and he's not on the disabled list, he cannot be in the dugout. But
right.
This is 2 minutes before first pitch. Full uni.
Yep. Full uni. Shaking hands.
But moments after that,
his teammates.
He headed into the clubhouse, and that's it. That one is belted toward left center. Gordon on the move, and Gordon near the wall makes the catch. So Chapman hit that ball well. So that's out number 1. So again, the game started at 7:07. This was 7:04 exactly. I mean, he looks like he's in the lineup. And he's going to work with the outfielders and, you know, do base running, hitting, all that good stuff. But they're not. He is not announcing his retirement, and that's a key part of this as well. He's not saying he does not want to or expect to play anymore. So it's interesting. And you brought up a good point, Stu, the fact that the A's and the Mariners open the season next year in Japan, and I got to believe all parties involved would love to have Ichiro part of that. I mean, how could you not? You got to have him a
part of that. If they're going to Japan and it's starting the season in Japan, he's got to be there.
So it's interesting stuff, but that is the news coming out of the Mariners today. Haniger and Gordon, and it's going to be the center fielder Gordon, and he's got it. No surprise here that Ichiro, most hits all time against the A's, 320, right at the top of the list. Here in the big leagues in the States, 3,089 hits. His 9 years in Japan, he had 1,278 hits. So, Stu, a total of 4,367 hits. That's unbelievable.
Glenn, did you see the names on that list?
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of Hall of Famers on there.
There was some iron on that list.
Thank you very much.
Well, he will be a Hall of Famer when his turn comes up. But it all began in 2001. Up the middle, Segura goes a long way. His throw is in time. So see if the A's take a look at that. Segura was playing over toward the hole. He had to go a long ways to his left. Let's see if they got Piscotty. I think they did.
Yeah, they got him.
So that's a heck of a play by Gene Segura, and that's how the top of the second comes to an end. Bottom of the second coming up. It'll be Healy, Zunino, and Heredia. 1-0 Mariners. Heading north into downtown Seattle, you see to the left the football stadium. Right next to that, that's where we're at, Safeco Field. It'll be Healy, Zunino, and Heredia here in the bottom of the second. Ryan Healy 2 for 8 in the series with a home run. Another broken bat. Chapman charges, and that's the first down. Let's finish up our thoughts on Ichiro. This is his first major league hit, April 2nd, 2001. That looks like a TJ Matthews sighting, I believe, on the mound for the Athletics. See Tejada at short. So that was his first hit. But remember, Stu, I think it was soon after that the Mariners came to the Coliseum, and he made what is now the famous throw from right field, and it was on every single highlight show that night. And that's when everybody said, oh my goodness,
Put him on the map.
what is that?
And put him on the map. Little did.
Here's the throw. I mean,
How about
come
that?
on.
I mean, that is a P. That's a line.
That is a special throw.
Look at that. Look at that.
Wow.
That's unbelievable. And this guy, he could do it all. He was a great defender. A great defender. I'm not even sure. I know it was more than 10 200 hit seasons in a row.
Yep.
He's going to be the first Japanese Hall of Famer. Without a doubt. He may be even first ballot. I don't know. What do you think?
Yes, I do. I do. 262 hits in 2004. That's the all-time record for hits in a season. And if you think of all the Japanese players that have come over here to play, and there's been some good ones. There's been good pitchers, really good pitchers. But nobody had the impact Ichiro had, and nobody had the success that Ichiro had.
No one has.
Matsui was good, but not for the length of time that Ichiro.
When you talk about the Japanese hitters that came here, there's no one that had more success, has been as an impactful player on the game of Major League Baseball than Ichiro.
In all those years he played, the great Ichiro question that was never answered was, how do you pitch to this guy?
And nobody.
Because he just swung at everything.
Well, you know how you pitch to him? You let him get into his 40s.
Just got to be patient, right? He'll get himself out at some point. It just may take a while. So 2 outs, and here's Heredia.
You know, Nomo probably, arguably, had great impact on the game when he first came in the early '80s with the Dodgers.
But he was really the first, right? I mean, the first guy to stay for a long time.
Right, to stay for a long time.
He was awesome for a while. So 0-1 the count to Heredia. Guillermo Heredia. He's got some success against Mania, 5 for 15 in his career. Chapman grabs it. Shows off that good arm, and that's a good inning for Sean Mania. 3 up, 3 down. Third inning coming up. Mariners 1, A's nothing. Street a little ways. There's not been a lot of sunshine here in Seattle, so they've gotten it the last 2 days, and these folks have enjoyed it. 0-1 to Pinder, Lucroy to follow, and then Simeon facing Wade LeBlanc. And that one's hooked into left field for a base hit, maybe more. Pinder is going to round first. He'll stay there.
Yeah, I really like the way this young man plays the game. You know, you can put him in the outfield, and he doesn't hurt you in the outfield. You know, and right there's a nice easy swing. He didn't try to do too much with that ball. He just tried to hit it. He hits it on the line, and a nice base hit to left field. I really like the way he plays the game.
Yeah, he's got a lot of power. I wonder how much damage he would do if he got 500 at bats.
He hit some home runs last year, and I couldn't believe they came off of his bat.
First pitch strike to Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy at 259 with 7 RBIs. 1 for 6 in this series with a double. The left-right splits are interesting for Lucroy against right-handed pitching. He's hitting .327 against left-handed pitching. Just 138, 4 for 29.
How do you figure that?
Let's give him some more time. How about that?
That's a strange split.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking on it. I can't even begin to explain that.
Well, if you can't, then I have a very small chance of doing it either. That's high, and now it's 3-1. So he's in a hitter's count.
And I think I'm going to ask him about that on the plane tonight.
Yeah, you should. Should say, Jonathan, I've done a lot of games in the booth, and I can't understand what. He's not going to know the difference. I believe you. You're Dave Stewart. Come on. So 3-2 the count. Pinder runs well. Luke Croy does not strike out a lot. See if Bob Melvin starts the runner.
Glenn, I'd asked you before the game, how big of a difference do you think this guy's made for the pitching staff?
I think it's huge. I do. He does run, and the ball is lined foul. I think it's exactly what the A's needed, a veteran catcher who has a good resume, and all that added up. He's a very good defensive catcher. Blocks balls well. All things that I think a young staff really needs. They do not shake him off much. Another 3-2. Pinder goes. Strike 3 called. Throw to second base. And that is going to be a strike him out, throw him out, double play. So LeBlanc gets the strike 3 call. And after the call, it was a fairly easy throw out for Mike Zunino.
Oh, fastball inside. He was jackknifing out of there. And then you get the throw out. Actually, it's a perfect pitch, a fastball about belt high inside, which is a very, very good pitch to handle by the catcher, and nice easy throw down to second base.
Yeah, I think Zunino, he stood up to make that throw and realized that he had plenty of time. So 2 away here in the top of the third for Simeon. Simeon hit a ball deep to center field in the first, was caught by Gordon. Seager backhand, straightens up in time, side retired. So the inning started with a base hit, but nothing else for the Athletics. Bottom of the third coming up. Catch every moment this season. Get A's home screen icons and features such as the MLB TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Mariners 1 A's nothing. It's the bottom of the third inning. Manaea facing the top of the order. Gordon had a base hit in the first, stole a base, scored a run. He lofts this one toward right. Piscotty hustling over, and he can't get it. Gordon hustling for second, and he's going to have a double.
Yeah, he got him out front on that pitch, too. I mean, he really had him off balance out front on this. And he gets just enough bat on it, and we're not playing him there.
Yeah, you could see where Piscotty was. He was shaded over toward right center, and that made for a very long run.
I mean, you know, this guy's got great legs, but you know, we were playing him more towards right center field, and we weren't positioned to get him. So he drops that one in.
Talk about a thorn in the side. Manaea picks it up, throws in time, and Segura with his second sacrifice bunt. So Gordon is now at third. But I mentioned that about Gordon. Listen to this, Stu. He is now 9 for 12 in this series.
Ooh.
D. Gordon.
That's having a good series.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm kind of puzzled by maybe the first sacrifice bunt, but the second one. I mean, Gene Segura is a high average hitter, and
absolutely,
I'm questioning whether that's being called by the bench or if he's doing that on his own.
I do not want Gene Segura bunting if I'm the Seattle Mariners.
I'm thinking the same thing. I mean, he's a high average hitter. This guy had 200 hits 2 seasons ago and high 100s last season. I'm not too sure that that's being called by the bench.
Infield is in for the A's. Plus, both times that he bunted for a sacrifice, he bunted with the runner at second base. And we've all seen Segura a lot. I mean, he can hit the ball to right field as well as anybody.
Yes, he can. And I got to tell you what, man, I know I know Gene Segura and Robinson Cano are good friends, but I got to tell you, I'd be telling Cano, I'm sorry, buddy, but I got to get this one for myself.
He's helping his buddy out too much right now. Cano says, okay. Cano in the first inning came up same spot, and he lined a single to left.
And I'm not too sure. And I know that Cruz is a very, very dangerous hitter, and he is a right-handed hitter in this situation. But, you know, Cruz is just coming back, and he's not quite where he wants to be as far as swinging the bat. Robinson Cano is the type of hitter, as you saw his last at-bat, that's going to hit the ball wherever it's pitched. He's going to put it in play. I'm not too sure that I wouldn't pitch around this guy, make him hit whatever I want him to hit, and if he doesn't hit it, then, you know, take my chances with maybe a possible double play situation with Cruz.
And you know what's interesting too with what Cano just did right there, Stu, is Cano knows exactly what you just said. So he said, well, I'm going to expand my strike zone a little bit because I want to try to knock the run in. He's 3-0 count, and he swung at a pitch that was probably borderline.
I mean, it makes sense for me. I can't give this guy anything that he can put in play. He's got to hit my pitch in this situation, and if he doesn't, then so be it. I take my chances with Cruz. And like I said, Cruz, normally if he's got a few more bats under his belt, you might think second about that. But you know, there's a nice breaking ball behind the count 3-1. Now it's a 3-2 count on the breaking ball. So he's definitely making him hit the pitch that he wants him to hit. That's that breaking ball that, in my opinion, makes Sean Manaea so effective.
A pitch cast brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance.
Now under the rules of baseball, he should be seeing a breaking ball again in this situation.
And he did. And he does what Robinson Cano knows how to do. He just kind of serves it into center field. He's got a pair of RBI singles, and the Mariners lead 2-0.
That's not that same good breaking ball that he threw the pitch before. That's a breaking ball, but it's not that same good breaking ball. He's got to bury that pitch. He's got to bury it, or he's got to walk him. And I'm sure that's not the pitch he wanted. That's not where he wanted that pitch. But once again, you got a great hitter there with Robinson Cano, and he put the ball in play exactly like he should have.
So here's Cruz. So Cano now with 16 RBIs. A couple of home runs for Cruz against Manaya in his career. Center field and deep. Canna watches it go.
I guess I struck out all kinds of ways on that one, didn't I?
Nelson Cruz, his 7th home run of the year.
And I think that pitch right there was a hanging breaking ball. Once again, I think he went with the breaking ball. He didn't quite get it where he wanted to get it. He left it up in the zone.
But he can do some damage, can he,
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz?
That was definitely something off speed there. That was something off speed. It may have been his changeup, but he definitely did not get that pitch down in the zone like he wanted to. He left it up, and Nelson Cruz is a strong man.
So now it's 4-0. Still only 1 out for Haniger. First pitch in, first strike. So for Nelson Cruz, he has now hit 32 home runs against the A's in his career. Only Beltre has hit more. In his career, it was home run number 330. Nelson Cruz last night did not look good. He was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. He can forget about that. The 3-1 to Haniger, who hit a fly ball to right field in the first.
You know, this is probably the first game all season where Sean Manaea has really had a hard time commanding his stuff out there.
Chapman waits for a good hop. And Olsen digs it out. Chapman knew he had to put a little extra on the throw. Olsen took care of it.
Oh, man, I mean, this guy is plus third baseman. And that's a nice play at first base, scooping that ball out of there.
So, Stu, you won 168 career games. Don't you wish you had an arm like Matt Chapman?
On the mound?
He throws 97.
Thank you. I'll take it.
What a play. That's Marcus Semien with the shift on, throws him out. Nicely done by Semien. Side retired. Damage done by the Mariners. They score 3 times. for Sean Manaea.
How you doing, bud?
Just Cruz with the 2-run homer. So the A's will have to work a little comeback. Got an update from Anaheim, Stu. Albert Pujols in the bottom of the 2nd inning had a double. 2,999 career hits.
He is one of my absolute most famous players in today's game.
He's awesome.
I've had a chance to be around him through Tony La Russa.
Yeah.
I've had a chance to be around him. He is a great guy, community oriented. I mean, he's still going back to St. Louis. And doing community work in St. Louis area. So he's now involved in St. Louis as well as Anaheim, and he's just a great guy.
So 1 hit away from becoming the 32nd player in Major League Baseball history with 3,000 hits. And for the good folks here in Seattle, they're saying, well, he doesn't need to get any more because the Angels come here this weekend. They'd like to witness history, and I think Pujols would like to do it in front of the home fans in Anaheim.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tony found a way to be here for that 3,000th hit.
He also has 620 career home runs, Albert Pujols.
I like to corner Tony and ask him who was the best first baseman he ever had, Pujols or McGuire.
You know what, Albert looks good this year. He's playing a little bit more first base and moving around pretty well as McKenna strikes out. Time now for our Ford Smart Play of the Day, brought to you by your California Ford dealer. Stu, this was for you. Ace pitcher from 86 to 92 and then came back again in 1995. That looks like a no-hitter right there.
That's exactly what that was.
And of course, 4 consecutive 20-win seasons. 1989 World Series MVP. Won the ALCS MVP a couple times, once with the A's, once with the Blue Jays. We could go on and on and on.
You know, Glenn, I was kind of skinny back then.
Yeah, you look all right.
Man, I had hair then too, by the way.
The no-hitter in Toronto on June 29th, 1990. We're still mad at Fernando Valenzuela for not allowing us to enjoy it a little bit longer.
Even worse, he called me and told me he was going to do it.
Oh.
Spoiled my night.
I gave him a little stink eye for you when we were at Dodger Stadium. He was walking around. Could have did it like your next start. So I wanted to, I mean, you had the 4 straight 20-win seasons, right? Tremendous seasons.
That was an unbelievable run. It really was.
So I look up your innings pitched, right? Because I wanted to see how many innings you pitched in those 4 years. And we knew it was a lot. So you, in the 4 years, you averaged 265 innings per year. One of the years you topped out at 275. And of course, you've been asked that. I know you've been asked this 1,000 times. Guys, it's like a big deal now when you get to 200 innings, but the game has changed so much, and now this infatuation with the bullpen, and let's get to the bullpen in the 6th inning. If you're a starter, give me 5 or 6, we're good. And I don't want to make you sound like you're the guy who played a long time ago and is like, oh, we used to throw 300 innings. But does that part of the way the game is going now, does that bother you a little bit?
It only bothers me because it shortens the life of the relief pitchers. It really does. And I know that the game and the dollars, with the specialization, guys are getting paid very, very good money to play. But the relievers are just as important. These guys want to have 10-year careers as well. And when you're running those guys out there every night for years or 2 years, actually for a 2-year period of time, if you run a reliever out there 65, 70 games, you're shortening his career. And I still believe and I still value starting pitching that can take you, 7 innings,
Absolutely.
8 innings, and throw in some complete games there when you have an opportunity to do it, because I think it's just good for the game in general. I think that fans appreciate watching guys pitch deep into games.
But I think, too, like you mentioned, well, going to the bullpen early and having relievers pitch so much more, it may not be good for them health-wise. Which means, well, then having the starters throw a little bit less, that should be good for them. But that's not the case either.
It's not the case either. I
mean, something's out of whack there, I think.
I've always believed, and I believe this today. The reason that starters, even before my time, were able to throw 300 innings, and as the innings curved off to 260, 250. The reason why we were able to do that is because we threw so much. Our arms were trained to do it. I think that pitching innings is the same as strength and fitness guys. You train your body to do what it's capable of doing. And if you get past the point, then your body lets you know. But I believe that the reason why the guys before me, the people in my period of time, the reason why we were capable of throwing those innings is because we trained ourselves to do it.
So having guys throw 4 or 5 innings a start in the minor leagues, or capping them at 110 innings, maybe that's where this problem starts.
Well, there's no doubt it starts in the minor leagues. I mean, when we're now, and I can say we because I was a part of it with the Diamondbacks, we're looking at the innings that our high school starters are throwing, and we draft them, we sign them, we get them into our system, and we cap their innings. We're looking at the college pitchers and the innings that they've thrown, and we cap their innings. In the minor leagues, I believe there were a couple of minor league seasons that I had 180 innings. There were a couple of minor league seasons I had 200. And that puts you in the place that when you arrive to the big leagues, you are capable of doing the same thing.
Sure.
You can't expect a pitcher to throw 120 innings and then arrive to the big leagues and be able to throw even 190 innings.
Sure.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to train these guys. You have to put them in the mindset. Training isn't just the physical part of it, but it's also the mental aspect of being able to do it. Because what you can't mentally do, you certainly won't physically be able to get it done. And so you have to train them mentally, you have to train them physically, that they are capable of throwing the innings, of putting in the work, to pitch the amount of innings. I think that helps make a whole pitching staff successful. We had on our A staff, we had myself, Bob Welch, and Mike Moore. We were all 230 plus innings guys. And if you had 3 starters that could do that, you could afford to have 2 starters that were 5-inning guys. But it also kept your bullpen healthy, and I think that is the recipe to success. A healthy bullpen, you have starters that can pitch innings when you need them, complete games when you need them. It saves the whole staff, and it makes the whole staff better.
And I don't care how good your bullpen is, if it's overused, it turns a good bullpen into an average bullpen.
There's no doubt.
It's just automatic over the course of a season.
It can turn it into, if it's an average bullpen, it turns it into a bad bullpen. If it's an excellent bullpen, it turns it into an average pen.
I just think it's still, even though these changes are occurring, and don't know that it's ever going to turn back in the other direction. I still think you have to have a couple guys in your rotation that have the ability to get to 200 innings.
I think it's a plus, and that's the one aspect of the game that I think at some point will return to what it used to be. I really do. And when you think about it, Glenn, you're going to see the closers that have been dominant closers in this game. Those guys have been around, and they're still around. You know who they are. It's hard. You're hard pressed to think about who are the middle relievers and the setup guys that have long careers. Yeah. It's tough to think about who those guys are, and it's tough to remember who those guys are.
Yep, you're right. 3-2 to Chapman. A's need a hit to get on the board. That one's hit high in the air to left field, but room for Heredia. And he makes the catch. So that's 2 outs, and it'll be up to Matt Olson.
That's a nice swing, but I mean, he got it off the end of the bat. That ball is off the end of the bat, and you know, I got to take my hat off to LeBlanc so far in this baseball game. What he's done is he's kept these guys from making solid contact. There's been a lot of soft contact. He's gotten the ball in on a lot of our hitters. He's broken some bats, and the reason why that's happening is because he is changing speeds. He's moving the ball on the inside part of the plate, and he's pitching on the outside part of the plate. And so you have to take your cap off to him at this point in the game. He's done a good job of changing speeds and keeping our hitters off balance.
Well, how frustrating is it for a hitter? He's breaking bats, throwing 87 miles an hour. That'll drive a hitter crazy.
I got to tell you, there are a lot of guys that are saying, how is he doing that? If Tony Phillips was still here, he'd be standing at the top of the stairs talking about, throw me a fastball, throw me a fastball.
64 pitches for LeBlanc. Chasen Bradford starts to throw. And remember, LeBlanc, it's his first start in almost 3 years. The most pitches he has thrown this year in relief was 71. It was on the 23rd of April. It was a line drive, but foul, so he may not go much longer than this inning right here.
I mean, you had to believe when he started the game what they were hoping to get out of him were, you know, 3 or 4 good innings is what they were hoping to get from him. They probably had him on about a 60 to 65 pitch count, and then you get him out of there and it's a bullpen day. And to this point, he's done what they probably expected from him.
Yeah, Erasmo Ramirez is the Mariners' 5th starter, but he is on the disabled list, so that's where LeBlanc is filling in right now. Pitch outside. Olson hit a fly ball to center field in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, I was reading a quote from LeBlanc before today's start saying that his mindset's going to be the same as it is in the bullpen. He's going to go as hard as he can for as long as he can and just throw strikes.
Olson taps it foul.
And this is really a lesson for the young kids out there. I mean, it's great to go out there and try to throw the ball as hard as you can and blaze with your fastball, but there's something to be said for a guy that has a clear understanding of, one, who he is and how to pitch with the stuff that he has. And this is a prime example of a guy that does exactly that.
Yeah, if LeBlanc tried to throw a little harder, he'd throw 90, which is a wonderful hitting speed. Works it inside, so see what he does now. He's got inside corner here covered. That pitch.
And that's a good pitch. I mean, for me, that's a good pitch to Olson. My guess would be he's throwing in there again. I doubt that he's going to double it up. He's probably going to do something away.
So 3-2 to Olson. That'll get Lowry and Davis, the 2 runners, moving.
Left-handed hitter. He's got somebody warming up in the bullpen. I got to think that he's going to probably come back with a breaking ball.
Runners go. The ball's tapped back toward the mound.
Let's call away.
And side retired. So the A's strand a pair. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Healy, Zunino, and Heredia. 4-0 Mariners. debut on Saturday, May 26th against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The first 15,000 fans get this awesome giveaway presented by Ross Dress for Less. Plus, the A's 50th anniversary season-long celebration continues with a special Swinging A's celebration, a day dedicated to honoring a special team from the 1970s. Make sure you grab your tickets to this special day at athletics.com/tickets. Mariners up 4-0 as Sean Manaea not quite as sharp today.
No, today is not his best day command-wise, but I tell you what, if he can keep these guys right here, especially since we're going to be in that bullpen, I think we got a chance to win a baseball game.
Manaea had 46 pitches.
You know, they had a saying, Glenn, that there are some guys that are right at hitting speed and some guys that are just below hitting speed.
I know where you'd rather be.
Let's hope the next guy comes in is right at hitting speed.
0-2 to Ryan Healy, who grounded out in his first at bat. Swing and a miss, up and away. Healy strikes out.
That fastball had something on it right there.
And a one away. Sean Manaea, first in the league in ERA, first in opponents' batting average, first in opponents' on base percentage, opponents' OPS, first, fourth in innings pitched. All in all, a terrific season for Sean Manaea. Last year he was 12-10 in 29 starts through 158 innings. Two starts ago, the no-hitter. How did you do your start after your no-hitter? Do you remember?
I didn't remember, but I was reminded in a pre-game show.
Brody?
Oh, believe me.
He went there?
No, actually it was not Brody.
No,
no, it was Coase.
Coase got you?
Coase got me. And it wasn't too good. It was I think it was 2 2/3. And I gave up a 6 spot. I remember Dave Henderson calling me 6-pack that day.
Just what you wanted to hear, right?
Yeah. Here comes my next start. He says, "Here comes 6-pack." It wasn't about my stomach either.
Well, that group that you played with, they weren't going to let anything slide.
Oh man, Dave Parker, man, you got him in the clubhouse. Nothing is sacred.
Last 3 starts. Here, a win, and then the no-hitter, and then was terrific on Friday in Houston. Gave up 1 unearned run. And he's got another strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts for Sean Manaea here in the bottom of the 4th.
That's the guy I know. This is the guy. Look at this guy right here. There you go.
Well, maybe just at this point down 4-0 after a tough inning. Sometimes you see a guy just kind of let it go a little bit.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, and it also, I know for most starters, at least most of the guys in my era, sometimes it takes you 2-3 innings to get going. So it may have taken him a while to get loose and get himself into feeling it, you know. But I'm telling you, if we can hold on to this, if we can hold on to it right here, hold them right here, we've got a chance to win this game with the bullpen coming in.
1-0 to Heredia. That's it for a strike. It looks like the Mariners will be going to their bullpen.
Last night we scored against the pen.
The 2 best guys. Heredia grounded out to Chapman in the 2nd inning. Heredia gets some playing time against left-handed pitching. Not a straight platoon with Ben Gamble, but Heredia does get a fair amount of at-bats. Soft line drive into the glove of Lowry. 5 in a row retired by Manaea.
Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't think
No,
that'll
that's
be,
a no.
That won't be my hobby.
Yeah, that's a no. A little queasy after watching that. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair expert. So to the bullpen, Jason Bradford comes in. It's our first look at Bradford in this series.
Got some nice numbers.
First pitch, Piscotty belts one left center field. That's hit well. Gordon's going back, and that baby's gone.
Told you we got a chance.
Into the party deck.
We got a chance. Hit that ball good. Squared it up. Welcome to the game.
So Piscotty with his second home run.
Oh, that's a fastball belt high. As Reggie Jackson would say, it's already fence high. All I had to do was hit it. Good if it hit the good. I was going to say if it hit the Griffey sign, that would have been perfect. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Ken Griffey got his first 2 major league hits off of me.
Really?
Yeah, so that would have been perfect payback.
It's amazing how you guys remember that stuff.
Oh, how can you forget it?
So that's LeBlanc, who finished right at 70 pitches, 4 shutout innings, but the A's get to Bradford. So they're on the board, 4-1. Segura backs up a little bit. So Pinder is retired. 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Want to let our viewers know that Dave Stewart is here. He's taking the place of, obviously, Ray Fosse. Ray is tending to a family matter back in Illinois. So if one of our viewers are wondering where Ray is he's going to be gone. He should be back on Monday. So Dallas Braden will be in the booth this weekend when the Baltimore Orioles come to the Coliseum. 0-1 to Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy struck out looking in the 3rd. We're Nicasio and Diaz, the setup man and the closer for the Mariners. They have both pitched in the first 2 games in this series. It doesn't mean they're not available tonight, but I mean, manager's sometimes careful with the setup man and the closer.
Yeah, I mean, and they're going to pitch in their areas. I mean, they're going to be late inning guys. Bradford actually, he's got a 2-0 record and a 1.69 ERA, so he's pitched well.
And Lucroy swings and misses. So Jonathan Lucroy, a guy who does not strike out very much, has struck out twice tonight.
He got him on a slider there. This nice slider. Look at that. That's a nasty slider right there. 85-mile-an-hour slider down in the zone. And they always teach you if it starts low, don't swing, but it's a tough thing to lay off a pitch that looks like a fastball when it's coming out of his hand.
First pitch to Marcus Semien, in for a strike. Semien, a fly ball to center and a ground out to 3rd.
I don't know how many times I've sat on the couch and I said, how could he swing at that pitch?
Well, that's it. I mean, that's it, though, right? It looks like a fastball.
That's exactly. You know, Glenn, it was determined that I probably would have swung at 1,000 of those. And so in Bellingham, Washington, my first year in professional ball, they said, hey, instead of you catching, you're going to pitch. So you know what that says. And then, I mean, anything about the fact that I threw the ball hard, it meant that I had a whole lot of strikeouts in my bat.
So there's a coach out there somewhere that you need to say thank you to, right?
Bill Barrier. Bill Sweppy.
Thank you very much. So, a run for the Athletics on Stephen Piscotty's second home run of the year, and it was a long one into the party deck. 4-1, bottom of the fifth coming up. Face the top of this order. It's this Gordon guy again.
And we got to find a way to keep him off the base.
Boy, 2 for 2, single, double, stolen base, 2 runs scored. 9 for 12 in the series.
Got to find a way to keep him off.
I was impressed with D. Gordon. He got to spring training and he said, let's get to work. I got to learn how to play center field. And this is a guy, Stu, that won a Gold Glove as a second baseman a couple of years ago.
You know, and I think early in the year he may have been challenged a little bit. I know in our series he had a couple of plays that he had mishaps.
A little bit, yep.
Yeah, but I think he's an athlete, and as you know, what they say is if you can play the middle infield, you can play center field. So I think he's going to adjust well.
1-2 pitch. Tap slowly. Lowry's got it. Flips to first, and they just got it.
He makes every play a close play. Every play is a close play.
Speed's a wonderful thing.
Every play is a close play. Bam, bam.
So 1 away. Here's Segura. He will not be bunting here. Curiously, Segura in the first inning a sacrifice bunt, in the third inning a sacrifice bunt. Hey, you know that guy.
Yes, I do. I had a lot of battles with him.
Martinez.
What do you think, Hall of Fame?
Yep. Although you cannot even question it here in Seattle because they'll want to fight you.
I'm calling the Avengers.
Yeah, I don't know that it's an absolute, in my humble opinion, absolute drop dead, no question about it.
Well, you got to break the barrier, and there are no designated hitters in the Hall of Fame.
Piscotty is there. He's got it. Well, Edgar Martinez this past year in the Hall of Fame voting got 70.4%. Of course, you need 75. So there's a pretty good chance he will probably get the right amount of votes next year.
I got to tell you what, I'm glad they didn't show him hitting one of those off of me.
No. We wouldn't do that to you. But Martinez finished his career with 2,247 hits and 309 home runs. Lowry's got it, and that's a good inning for Manaea. So he has retired 8 in a row since the Nelson Cruz home run. 6th inning coming up, 4-1 Seattle. California All-Star Teacher Program is here, recognizing teachers that make a difference. Visit NBCSportsCalifornia.com and vote. The winner receives $20,000 for his or her school. 4-1, the Mariners lead the A's, top of the 6th inning. This is the final game of the road trip. That's a good-looking hat.
Yes, it is.
I like that. So the A's are 4-4 on this 9-game trip. So if they could do a comeback victory here, they could have a winning road trip. They'll go home for 6 and then back out on the road for 10. That upcoming 10-game trip is going to be a handful, Stu. New York, Boston, Toronto. Three good teams. They all hit in their ballpark.
Got your work cut out. But these young men have played well against contending teams this year, so I'm not worried one bit.
2 pitch, Canna rolls it in the hole. Seager cuts it off. Canna's retired. A's will go home and play the Baltimore Orioles, who are really struggling. Orioles losing tonight in Anaheim 8-0. And then the Astros come to town. So there's that 4-team stretch to Astros at home, and then Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays. So it'll be interesting to see where the A's are at the end of the day on May 20th.
Well, with Baltimore playing not so good at this time, let's keep them asleep.
Yeah, you have to.
And win some games against them. And then let's hope that against the Astros, our fate is better than it was in Houston. And in Houston, we could have easily have won 2 of the 3. But the last day it got away from us. So I think that these young men, they're playing really, really good baseball. And if they get an opportunity, they can do some good things.
0-1 to Lowry, a strikeout and a single for Jed.
They're going to build some character.
Yep.
Let's put it like that.
It'll pay off in the long run. Lowry's average 344. 1-2 the count. Jason Bradford into his second inning of work. I'm sure Scott Service, manager of the Mariners, would love to get 2 innings from this guy.
I mean, the deeper it gets into the game, the closer we get to the people we don't want to face.
That's exactly right. Pop-up foul. Albert Pujols in his second at-bat was hit by a pitch. So he singled in his first at-bat. So 1 hit away from 3,000. Angels are just beating up on the Baltimore Orioles. It's 10-0 in the 4th inning. Ooh. Make it 12-0 in the 4th inning. Tough sledding for the Baltimore Orioles. They come into that game 8-22. Kind of decision time in Baltimore. They got some pretty good players that other people would like. I would think.
Yeah, they do. One of my favorite players and one of my favorite people is their Adam Jones.
Yeah, that's right. He's a free agent.
Yep, and I think Adam is on the last year of his contract, and he's been a pillar there in the Baltimore area and on that team. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do if they don't get themselves back into this thing.
Yeah, everybody talks about Machado, and listen, I mean, good reason. Machado's one of the best players in the game. Well, if you were a team looking for an outfielder, good veteran outfielder, Adam Jones, what a fit that would be.
Man, can you remember? At least I remember. Adam Jones, his first organization was right here in Seattle.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Adam Jones is a tremendous player. He's still a very, very good outfielder, a tremendous outfielder. Great leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he's got some good years left.
Yes, he does. He's a hard worker in the winter months. I think if somebody is able to, well, let's first assume that Baltimore will retain him. Yeah. But if they're not, he's going to be a great player for someone.
Rolled foul again. Good battle here. Yeah, that was not a good trade for the Seattle Mariners. They wanted a starting pitcher, and Eric Bedard had just had a pretty good year for the Orioles, and they traded Bedard, and the Orioles got Adam Jones and Chris Tillman back. Tillman's been a pretty good pitcher, not the last couple of years, but before that he had some good years.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. So Lowry battled and ends up striking out.
There's a fastball. He elevated it just above the zone. That's that I call it the Bob Welch pitch. Bobby Welch used to throw fastballs right about there, and with that same result, get a swing and a miss. That's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. It's not a blazing fastball, but what made the difference is it was just above the zone.
Well, he threw one of those to Reggie Jackson in the World Series, right?
Yeah, he did. I got to tell you.
What year was that?
That was in 1970.
Oh, that's right. That was 78, 77 or 78.
78.
Right? Yeah. Because you got a ring with the Dodgers in 81, right?
Yes, I did. And I was actually sitting on the bench in 78.
So you saw it.
I got a chance to see it firsthand.
Well, Bob Welch was just a youngster then, right?
Oh man, he was very young. He could just barely grow a mustache.
Fair ball. Seager has it. Throw is in time, and that will do it for the A's. Top of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Still 4-1 Seattle. The third inning, it was part of a 3-run inning. And at that time, the Mariners had a 4-0 lead. Now it is 4-1. That is their Chrysler drive of the game. So Cruz leads it off. That home run, the last hit that Sean Manaea has allowed. And you know what? This is the stuff that tells you a lot about a guy too, Stu. Sean Manaea not as sharp tonight. Gives up 4 runs in the first 3 innings, but he has settled down. His pitch count is 69. I mean, he's got a chance to go 7 innings.
He got a chance to go 7 easy. He might have a chance to go 8 and complete this game if we don't take a lead.
He's retired 8 in a row.
You know, the curse of it is it's not been his best game. He's still in the game in the 6th inning. We still have a chance to win this game in the 6th inning.
Yep.
And if we don't win this game, people are going to say that he didn't pitch very well.
Two and one to Cruz. Very high pop-up. Lowry fighting it a little bit, and Jed has it. So 1 away, and here's Mitch Haniger.
That's his 9th in a row, huh?
That is 9 in a row, yes indeed.
I mean, this is what we talked about before the game started, how this young man has matured. I'm not too sure that after his start, after the beginning of this game, the things that took place, that he'd be in this game at this point a year ago.
Yeah, that's a good call. Things tended to unravel a little bit quicker for Sean Manaea last year. Not so much the case this year. Now, he has not really had a bad outing this year. Haniger has hit number 6.
Yeah,
Just found the hole.
Yeah, and actually it's not that bad of a pitch, except he did catch a little bit of the middle part of the plate. It was middle part of plate down. And, you know, that's another thing about Sean Manaea this year, and it's a big part of being a good starting pitcher is that he's learned to control the pace and the tempo of the game. He's not letting the game speed up on him. When the game starts to get a little bit fast, he backs off and he slows the pace down. He brings it back to where he wants it to be.
That hit like a breaking ball. So Seager seems to be okay as he heads down to first base.
Got him right in the number 2, hit him right on the 5. Got him right on the 5.
So 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning for Ryan Healy. 74 pitches now for Manaea.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad I pitched the majority of my years in the American League, because that never happened to me.
Didn't have to worry about it. And both runners are going to move up. So a costly 90 feet on the wild pitch. Actually, costly 180 feet. Both runners move up.
I get somebody ready in the bullpen now. Yeah, that's a very blockable ball right there.
Infield has to come in.
Yep.
Healy with a big rip, rolls it foul right near home plate.
And I got to admit, this is a little bit of a different infield end shift, because what you got here, if you look at it, Glenn, you've got the second baseman, shortstop in. Chapman is actually playing his natural position, and Olsen is a little bit further back than the middle infielders as well, but not quite in his normal first base position. That's a little bit of a different shift, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's just strange to see Chapman not all the way in with the rest of the infield. Lou Trevino starts to throw. So 1-2. Manaea needs a strikeout.
But I would guess if something is hit hard and directly at Chapman, you can still make a play to home if you have to or if you want to.
Here's a thought, and I don't know this for sure, but obviously you play a little bit back, gives you more range, cover more ground. But the fact that Chapman has such a great arm, maybe you can move him back a little bit, give you a little more range, and know that he could still throw a guy out at home plate with his terrific arm.
I think you're right.
Two and two the count. Got him swinging. Big strikeout.
Good strikeout. The strikeout is the pitch that I like so much. That's that hard breaking ball at that back foot to the right-hander. And this is going to be the result. The majority of the time, they're going to swing right over it. That is an outstanding pitch in that situation. That's the pitch that you want to make.
So strikeout number 4 for Sean Manaea, and now he's got to get Zunino. Everybody goes back to a normal spot. Zunino went around high
elevating the zone. You elevate the zone right there. Take advantage of the aggressiveness of the hitter if you can.
And Zunino, a guy who strikes out a lot. This year, Zunino, he's been on the disabled list a fair amount.
There's no reason why you can't throw that same pitch again. I mean, he swung at it now 2 times. I mean, he's very aggressive up there. You take advantage of his aggressiveness. And he did. He came right back there.
Zunino has struck out 17 times in 42 at-bats.
If he does throw the breaking ball here, he's got to make sure that he gets that thing down. There you go.
So that's where you want to do it. Make sure
That's
your
the way
catcher
you want
blocks it.
That's where you want it. And I got to tell you what, to have a catcher back there that can block the ball and you're confident he's going to block it, it allows you an easy feeling that you can continue to just bounce that thing in there and hope that he didn't go. But that's where you want to make that pitch.
Got him swinging. High fastball. Nice job by Sean Manaea. So second and third, 1 out. He strikes out Healy and Zunino. 7th inning coming up. where he ranks among Seattle Mariners all time. No surprise. First in batting average, first in hits, first in triples, first in stolen bases, second in games, second in runs. A very, very popular figure here in Seattle. Got a little shrine for him. So he actually let them touch one of his bats so they could put it in there. He didn't like that when you touched his bat. Remember, he had the place in the dugout where he would set it? Somebody got one from him.
They didn't just touch it, they took it.
1-0 the count as Matt Chapman leading it off. Olson to follow, and Piscotty chasing Bradford out there for his third inning. The Yankees beat the Astros today 6-5. So the Yankees went to Houston and took 3 out of 4. That's a pretty good series for New York. The Astros had a 5-3 lead in that game going to the top of the 9th inning, and their bullpen blew it. Yankees scored 3 times. So the Yankees are rolling. They have won 11 out of their last 12 games. In the air right field, Haniger hustling in, and Haniger grabs it. So Matt Chapman is 0 for 3. The Astros will now head to Arizona, so that's a good series. Interleague matchup down in the desert. And the Yankees they'll head home and host the Cleveland Indians. So pretty good job by Jason Bradford out of the bullpen. He allows just the Piscotty home run. So Pazos, the left-hander, comes in to face Matt Olson. So we'll have that matchup when we come back, with the Mariners leading 4-1. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Top of the 7th, with the Mariners leading 4-1 over the A's. And James Pazos, left-hander, having a good season for the Mariners, comes in. 1.69 ERA, 13 strikeouts in 10 2/3 innings.
This kid's got power stuff.
Yep.
He's a old Yankees hand.
He's a big fella too, 6'2", 235. He will turn 27 on Saturday, so he's got a birthday coming up.
He came to the Mariners, I think it was last November in a trade. But he's got power stuff.
First pitch to Olson is a fastball at 94 inside. James Pazos.
Got command too. He's only got one walk.
Olson is 0 for 2, and he swings and misses, and there's that good fastball from Pazos. Sneaky velocity. Kind of a short armor too, huh, Stu?
Yes, he is, but it gets up on you quick.
And that one flipped down the left field line. Heredia hustling over, goes into a slide, and he does not get it. It's a foul ball.
You know, because he is a short armor, there's some deception there. They don't pick up the ball very easily.
It's a good effort by Heredia. And just foul. But the term short arm is used a lot in baseball. And usually you think of a pitcher, well, he's going to reach back and use his whole arm, but not all pitchers do that. Some guys have just a little short.
Yeah, it's really short.
Yeah, and you'll see it with Pazos. Just watch.
You don't get that extension.
Yeah, watch when he brings the ball back, his arm back. It's just a quick circle. That's a short armor.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah, you'll see him right here. He doesn't get very much extension. It's right there. You know, most pitchers, you got a bigger swing in the back. His is nice, short, and quick. And you know what I tell you who your short armors are. The catchers are short armors.
Yep. Second baseman maybe sometime.
Yes.
But I think a short armor, it can be good for a pitcher because there is some deception there.
Well, this guy definitely has deception. You're not picking up the ball very quick off this guy.
2-2 to Matt Olson with Piscotty waiting in the on-deck circle. Seager has it. Seager fires to first, and they got him. Nice play by Seager with the shift on. Seager was playing shortstop, and he ranged far to his left, and it was a very close play at first.
The ball hit up the middle, and makes a nice play on that.
I'm guessing that Seager played shortstop.
Almost looked like a shortstop, didn't he? Took something from his brother.
Yeah. Gold Glover at third back in 2014.
Look at him smiling out there.
Here's Piscotty. Piscotty homered in the fifth. And it was not a cheapie. Deep left center field. There's a big party deck out there. It went to the back of the party deck.
Well, you said it right. This guy, when he throws that fastball, it looks quicker than it really is. It sneaks up on you.
Check where this ball lands. There's the party deck and over it. Another ball hit well. Gordon hustling over into right center. In front of the wall, and he's got it. So Piscotty comes up just a little bit short, and nothing for the A's in the top of the seventh.
is brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places. And by Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV.
4-1 Mariners. It is the bottom of the 7th inning. Another small crowd tonight, just 12,888. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So it's Lou Trevino here in the 7th. Manaya done after 6 innings. Good start for Lou Trevino, his 6th appearance. He's got 10 strikeouts in 7 innings. Good fastball from Trevino. We've seen it. 98 miles an hour.
These guys come in and actually giving a boost to the bullpen.
No
He's been really, really good out there.
Well, a couple guys struggling that the A's were not expecting to be struggling, and that's where Trevino has picked up the slack a little bit.
And he's done a really, really good job. I know Hatcher right now is not throwing the ball like he's capable. But once again, we know that he's going to find himself and he's going to be everything that we thought he was. But in the meantime, when you got a guy that can come up and give you some meaningful innings and give you some positive innings, you got to love it.
2-1 to Heredia, who has grounded out and lined out. Check swing foul into the seats. So 84 pitches was the final total for Manaya. 4 runs in 6 innings. Did not walk anybody and had 5 strikeouts.
Tell you what else hurt the bullpen. You know, Liam Hendrick went down early in the year, and that hurt.
3-2. Hendrick's out. Buchter certainly hurts. Now you only have one lefty. Simeon charges, gets a nice hop, and Heredia is out. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Authentic Fan Fridays are back, and now they're in the A's treehouse just behind section 234. Tomorrow night, it'll be the A's and the Baltimore Orioles. The first 500 fans that show up get an authentic A's fan retro jersey. Giveaway starts at 6, and then stick around and check out the pregame show, which will be Dave Stewart's first appearance at the treehouse. That's worth it right there. All fans can also pick up one of our Collector Series cheer cards, and there it is. It's Chris Davis. For details, log on to NBCSportsCalifornia.com.
Who is that guy?
That's another hit for D. Gordon. He's a hit machine. 3 for 4.
It's just nice, easy, too. I mean, there's not much of a pivot there. It's just a nice short swing. Fastball down in the zone. He takes it right up the middle.
10 for 14 in this 3-game series. Here's Segura, who is 0 for 1. He has 2 sacrifice bunts. So yeah, so you're heading out to the treehouse tomorrow night, right?
First visit.
You're going to like it so much you may just stay there. It's good, it's good scene out there. People having a good time.
Out here, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're gonna be glad to see you. So Sean Manaya, his updated ERA is 1.63, still pretty darn good. It came in at 1.03. So he is now 2nd in the league in ERA behind Verlander and Cole and Morton. They're all on the list.
And Verlander hasn't woken up yet. He's at a 1.13.
He hasn't woken up since he put an Astros uniform on. He's been unbelievable with them. Oh, 1-1. All eyes on Gordon. And there he goes. Pitch out. Lucroy's throw is into center field. Gordon gets up immediately, and he's going to hustle to third, and he's going to be there with 1 out.
That's Ricky Henderson like. He gets on first base. We know that he's running. We pitch out. We throw. We don't get him. And he continues on to third.
Boy, he gets good jumps too, doesn't he?
Well, it's just a sign of a guy that knows his ability, and he knows what his game is. His game is to get on base. He's a table setter. Get on base and get yourself in scoring position.
So he's got 4 stolen bases in this series, and Segura bounces one. Chapman's got it. And Segura is retired, and Gordon has to stay at first. Or at third, excuse me. So big out.
Very big out.
So the next big out to get will be Robinson Cano. Robinson Cano knocked in a run with a single in the first. He did the same thing in the third. So he's 2 for 3. His career hit total is now 2,408. So he's over the 2,400 hit mark. And he's going to play for a while. This is just the 5th year of the 10-year contract he signed with the Mariners. And you know what? He still plays a good second base.
I think he still plays a great second base. I think he's one of the top second basemen in the league, if not in baseball.
Turns the double play well.
And on top of that, for a 10-year deal, nobody can say they've been cheated out of the first 5 years. He's had a good 5 years.
That's a good one. Olson's got it. He'll trot to first. And that will do it for the Mariners. We are moving to the 8th from Seattle. 4-1 Mariners. .com and the NBC Sports app, brought to you by your NorCal Honda dealers. 4-1 the Mariners lead. It is the top of the 8th inning. And the Mariners are going to bring in their setup man Juan Nicasio. So Nicasio has pitched in both games in this series. He gave up the home run to Lowry to tie the game. It was last night. He threw 14 pitches in game 1, 9 pitches in game 2, so not a huge amount of pitches in the first 2 games of the series.
We got Matt Joyce hitting.
Joyce hitting for Pinder. First pitch, Down the left field line, should reach the seats, and it will. So Pinder went 1 for 2 while he was in there. Joyce faced Nicasio last night. Same situation, and he got a double, and then Lowry homered. So Joyce, I think it helps, especially if you're pinch hitting, if you saw the guy the night before.
Groundhog Day?
Yeah, and had some success.
Groundhog Day? We got LaCroix coming up.
Not that time. Hard slider down and in.
Somebody learned a lesson.
So Nicasio strikes out Matt Joyce for the first out here in the 8th inning. So LaCroix will step up. Dull and Casilla both warming up for the Athletics. First pitch to LaCroix, and jam shot, just foul. Could have been a thing of beauty.
It would have been. He got this fastball in on him, and I thought we just had it, but we just missed it.
Had a couple of those tonight. A couple of strikeouts for LaCroix. He missed by much. That's a good pitch right at the knees.
This is a guy, Nicasio. I think that he's finally found his niche. You know, a couple of organizations, they've tried to start him, and he's just never been, he's never proven to be able to fit that role. You know, he's here in Seattle, and actually, I believe last year he was in Anaheim, pitching in a relief role. He's found some effectiveness.
Yeah, he had a good year last year, and that got him a pretty nice contract. He got a 2-year, $17 million deal.
Oof.
Really based on the one good year he had last year.
Yeah. You know, a lot of that is a gamble, and some of it is that you think that the guy's finally where he's supposed to be. If this is his fit, he's got a chance to be pretty effective. He's got a chance to be very good in this role.
Another foul ball left side. Yeah, he was in Philly and St. Louis last year. Got traded. He has bounced around a little bit. LaCroix is able to lay off that pitch.
I mean, this guy's got good stuff. He's, you know, his fastball's mid-90s. I mean, he's got a very, very serviceable breaking ball. He can be tough. I mean, a guy that's he's a 2-pitch guy that can be really, really tough.
Setting up inside is Zanino, and the ball is sliced down the right field line, and it is
Yes,
fair.
sir. We got that one.
LaCroix is going to make it to second base. I believe the ball bounced maybe into the stands and then back out onto the field. Either way, it's a double.
Or touch by a fan.
So hit number 5 for the Athletics.
It bounced in the seats, yeah. That one bounced in the seats.
So RBI opportunity for Marcus Semien. Simeon's 0 for 3. A little bit outside with a fastball.
He's due for a hit.
This is just the 3rd at bat with runners in scoring position for the A's today. They had a couple of opportunities, remember, back in the fourth when they had 2 on and 1 out. Chapman and Olsen were retired.
I think that was their only opportunity.
That's
wasn't
it, yep. This is the third. Missed again outside, 2 and 1. In this series, the A's are 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position, which is not great, but the one thing that can make up for some tough times running in scoring position is hitting the long ball, and the A's did that last night and won the game. Two and two with Mark Canha waiting in the on-deck circle. Right there, strike 3 call. At the knees, little movement toward the inside corner. And Marcus disagreeing with Ryan Blackney, but I don't know, Stu, it looked like a pretty good pitch.
Looked like a good pitch to me. It really looked like I don't know how you take a fastball like that unless you, in my opinion, he's got to be looking for something else. That pitch is too close to take.
So 2 away, and now it's up to Canha.
He had to be looking for something else in that
Slider.
situation. Slider or breaking ball. That pitch is too close to take.
Ocasio kicks and deals to Canha, and it's a fastball inside. Angels leading the Orioles now 12-2 in the 6th inning. Just 1 hit for Albert Pujols. Missed again. So tried the inside corner with a fastball twice. Canha has flied out, struck out, and grounded out.
It's a nice hitter's count right there, and he had the kind of swing that you should have in a hitter's count.
Yep, got a fastball at 96 miles an hour.
Well, he took it square in the mask.
Direct
too.
shot.
You know, Canha's had some good at-bats in these situations.
Yeah, he's got to be just digging, playing every day. And well deserved.
You can't ask for anything more. Get an opportunity to play, but you know, the good thing is that he's taken advantage of the opportunity. He's played well in the opportunities that he's gotten, which, you know, if you play well, then you get another chance to play another day, and he's done really, really well with this opportunity. And he's done a good job in center field.
And he's sitting on a 3-1 count.
Hitters count. Strength against strength.
And a fastball, swing and a miss.
That's a 96 mile an hour right on the block right there. Nobody's going to hit this pitch.
And
That's right
Canha
on the
checked
block.
with the umpire, said, was that a strike? And it was close.
That's 96 on the block. Nobody's going to hit that pitch. That's strength against strength. Like a nice mistake right here, right down the middle.
Three-two pitch. Here it comes. And struck him out. 97 miles an hour from Nicasio. And the A's strand Lucroy at second. Bottom of the 8th coming up.
we stand ready to serve all military families.
Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 1-5-1 for the A's, 4-7-0 for the Seattle Mariners. Manaea, 6 innings, gave up 4 earned runs, 84 pitches. Wade LeBlanc went 4 innings. The Mariners bullpen has done a pretty good job coming on in relief of LeBlanc. And D. Gordon, 10 hits and 4 stolen bases in this series. Piscotty does have a home run for the Athletics. New pitcher for the A's is Santiago Casilla. No record for Casilla. He does have a save. He's got an ERA of 3.27. His last outing was in Houston. So Matt Joyce in left field after pinch hitting. Casilla pitched on Sunday in Houston. Gave up a couple of runs. 1-1 to Nelson Cruz, who hit his 7th home run of the year in the 3rd inning. The Texas Rangers beat the Red Sox today 11-5. They beat up on David Price. Good breaking ball there. Mookie Betts hit another home run for the Red Sox. He's got 12.
Mookie. He's one of the best young players in the game today. One of the best young players in the game today.
Most home runs in all of baseball right now. Mookie Betts leads it with 12. Chapman shuffles to his left, throws across, Cruz is out.
Casilla did a little double kick right there.
So with the Yankees winning and the Red Sox losing, the Red Sox lead over New York in the East is down to 1 game.
They started out hot.
They sure did. Toronto and the Indians split a doubleheader, and it was a long, long day. There was a rain delay. Game 1, Toronto 13, Cleveland 11 in 12 innings. Game 2, Cleveland 13-4 over Toronto. What do you think of Toronto? Think they can hang with the Red Sox and the Yankees?
Yeah, I just don't think that their starting pitching is deep enough. I know that they've revamped that team a little bit. I just don't think that they have deep enough pitching.
Yeah, pitching took a beating today, giving up a bunch of runs to the Indians. Joyce calling for it. So Haniger is out. He's 1 for 4.
Tell you what, in his second go round, Gibbons has done a good job of managing that group of kids. He really has. He's done a good job.
That's the closer, Edwin Diaz. So Seager steps up with 2 outs, nobody on here in the 8th inning. Angels win that game tonight, and they're winning 12-2 in the 7th inning. They will be tied for first place with the Houston Astros.
You know, I was talking to Soch when they were in Oakland, and Soch believes that he has what they need to challenge the division this year. He felt really, really confident about his team, the players that are in his clubhouse, and his starting rotation. And you know, Soch and I, we've been friends and teammates since the minor leagues with the Dodgers, and so we often have conversations, and this is as positive as I've heard him about his ball club in a few years.
Well, their lineup is a handful, that's for sure.
They've got a nice lineup. I tell you what, it was a great sign bringing Upton back.
No question. You always felt like with their lineup before Upton was there, Trout is sensational, Pujols, but it was like those two guys and then everybody else.
Yep.
You know, you could, if you got past those two guys, you felt like you were okay. But that is not the case anymore with that lineup.
And, you know, Cole Calhoun is no joke in right field. He's a very, very good player. He's a hard-nosed player. He plays hard. I think it's great that Pujols has come in this year. He's trimmed off some, you know, he's lost some pounds. He trimmed off some weight. He looks great. He plans to play healthy and be healthy for a season. Ohtani was a nice pickup this winter. Nobody knew what he was going to do, but he's turned out to be a pretty good offensive player. You know, I'm still, as far as I'm concerned, Court is still out on him as a pitcher. But right now, he's turned out to be a pretty good hitter.
So you think he's, I mean, in your mind, you think he's more ahead as a hitter than a pitcher?
I think so.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I do. I might be one of the few that believe that, but I do.
Because I think they need him more as a pitcher than a hitter.
Well, you would think that his talent and his ability would be as a pitcher. Yeah. You know, this guy's throwing 100 miles an hour.
It's an easy 100.
Yeah.
Seager's called out. One more shot for the Athletics. 4-1. Diaz coming in. We're headed to the ninth. It's 4-1. The Mariners lead. Top of the ninth inning from Seattle. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair expert. So it is the closer, Edwin Diaz, for the third night in a row. So he's got a save, a loss, and we'll see what happens tonight. He threw 22 pitches on Tuesday. He threw 15 pitches last night.
I don't think very many people will remember early in the year, he struggled a little bit with his command, and they took him out of the role to do some refining. And since they brought him back into this closing role, he has been pretty much unhittable.
Yep. These are the hitters that Diaz is going to face. Hopefully the list is longer. Lowry, Davis, Chapman, what they have done. Diaz, A's got him last night. He's having a terrific season. It's been LeBlanc, Bradford, Pazos, Nicasio, and now Diaz. Swing and a miss, 97 miles an hour.
That's straight gas right there. 97 mile an hour worth.
And Lowry is going to get himself a base hit just over the glove of Cano.
Hey, it always evens out.
So Lowry 2 more hits tonight.
Fastball. He didn't quite locate it where he wanted to. Yep. Nobody ever thought that Cano was going to be in the NBA.
So here's Chris Davis. First pitch is low.
I got to tell you what, Glenn, those little soft liners like that, man, they used to bother me something fierce.
Yeah.
I hated it.
And I like the fact that it still bothers you.
Yeah. You know, at least I had an excuse, though. Mike Gallego was my second baseman.
I know you're going with this one. Gags doesn't even try for that one. Right? Is that what you're saying?
He tried, but he still couldn't get to it.
See, you guys are still relentless on each other. Now I have this picture of Dave Parker talking to Gags about not getting to a soft line drive.
You know, since we're in Seattle, man, I gotta tell you, you know, Dave Parker and Dave Henderson used to go at it all the time.
I've heard.
And you know, Dave Henderson had the gap in the front of his mouth, and so Parker told Dave Henderson, he says, we don't need a grounds crew to put the lines on the field. He says, why don't you just fill your mouth up full of chalk and blow the lines down?
Man. That's brutal. That is brutal. My guess is the late great Dave Henderson probably had a pretty good comeback for it. Better have thick skin in that clubhouse.
Yeah, Parker told him, dude, that on Halloween he could use him as a jack-o'-lantern in front of his house.
Are you going to argue with Parkway? Come on.
And we laugh forever. And Parker hit some home runs off of me. You know, when he was with the A's, he told me, he said he was going to hate to face me when he went to another team.
Could be 2. Segura throws. Got it. Very close play at first. And
I haven't called one all night. We might need to question that one.
See if the A's want to check it at all. It doesn't look so like they're going to, so he must have been out.
Yeah.
And he was.
He was.
So just like that, 2 outs. So Diaz gets the big ground ball off the bat of Chris Davis.
That's pitcher's best friend right there, double play.
So here's Matt Chapman with 2 away. First pitch, swing and a miss, 98 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's bringing it now. He smells it.
Chapman is 0 for 3. He's hit the ball in the air 3 times. And now it's 0-2.
That's just not fair right there. 90-mile-an-hour slider after a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Oh, 2. Chapman had a good swing at that one.
We got that one up to 99, by the way. That's that swing where you know you're getting gas and you just want to be sure you cheat just enough to get it.
He drops a good slider. That's a good 0-2 pitch right there.
Well, you got to, I mean, you got to be sitting on fastball. You can't be sitting there waiting on a slider. You got to be sitting fastball. And if you throw that slider and you throw it for a strike, then you get me.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a 99 mile an hour fastball, and that's the ball game tonight here from Safeco Field. So the Mariners take 2 out of 3 from the A's, and the road trip comes to an end for the A's. The 9-game trip. The A's finish with a record of 4-5. Now, time to head home for a 6-game homestand. Time of game tonight was 2 hours and 31 minutes. The attendance was 12,888. Final score tonight from Safeco Field, the Mariners 4 and the Athletics 1. Time now for A's post-game live. Let's turn it over to Brody Brazil.